Hello, I'm Brian Esser from How to Automotive. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to change the transmission fluid and the transmission filter on a Jeep Grand Cherokee with the Z8 8-speed transmission. I'll be sharing with you all the parts and tools that I use in this video. All that will be down in the description. With that being said, let's jump into the supplies that you're going to need. You're going to get at least 6 to 8 quarts, the 8-speed Mopar transmission fluid. I will leave links for it down in the description. It is available from Amazon. You're also going to need to get yourself a transmission filter pan. The filter is built into the pan. The part number is right here. I will leave links for this in the description of the video as well. It comes with all the hardware that you need to do the job. All the bolts and stuff comes with it, all brand new. As far as the tools goes, you're not going to need very much. You're going to need an 8 and a 10 millimeter Allen socket. You're going to need a torque wrench. It's recommended. You can do it without the torque wrench, but it is recommended. You're going to need a T40 Torx bit, little star bit right here. You're going to need one of those, and maybe a couple of extensions. I'm going to use the new Milwaukee ratchet. It just came out. These are brand spanking new, so I'm excited to put this to work on this project here. A regular hand ratchet will work great too. And then one other thing you're going to need is you're going to need the ability to transfer the fluid from the quart and pump it into the transmission. So you're going to need a little pump like this. All these links will be down in the description. Optional tool you may want to consider getting is a scan tool of some type to read codes, read the transmission temps. On some of these models, you can read the transmission temp through the heads-up display on the dashboard, and some of them you can't, just depending on what you're working on. So I would recommend getting a scan tool of some type. This is a Gear Wrench one. This little device just plugged into the data link connector, and then it links to your cell phone through a Bluetooth and an app, and it turns your cell phone into a little scan tool. Pretty cool, inexpensive tool. I'll leave links for it also in the description. But there's many scan tools out there that are not going to break the bank that can do the same job. All right, so before I pulled it in, I took the Jeep for a test drive, got it up to warm operating temperatures. Then I pulled it in the shop. I jacked it up from the frame over here, put it on a jack stand. So I got it off the ground. I got all 4 oils off the ground because we're going to drive the transmission through its drive cycle once we're done to check the fluid level. So we need the vehicle off the ground. You also want it level. So I jacked the vehicle up, and I got the jack stands on the pinch welds right there. You can see the little arrows here. It kind of tells you where to put them. I used my floor jack, put it right here on the subframe right here, and jacked it up. And then I put my jack stands underneath the suspension lower control arms there, and lowered the vehicle down. As you can see, the jack stands are over there, and I jacked it up from the center cross member support on the front of the engine, or just under the engine. Not the oil pan though. One other thing you're going to need a ability to catch the transmission fluid when you drain this out, and you're going to need some rags, and you're definitely going to need yourself some brake clean to clean things up. So there's the risk of some splashing happening when you start draining this. It's not a whole lot of fluid and it doesn't come out terribly fast, but there is the opportunity for it to splash off. So I'm using a little bit of cardboard on the ground to catch any additional spray on the. So once you got your supplies ready, now you're going to call onto your Jeep. There may or may not be a plastic skid plate here. So some of these vehicles have a plastic shield that covers the transmission. They're usually held on with 13 millimeter bolts. You'll have to just go around the perimeter and drop that shield down. This vehicle did not have one. So now we're on the passenger side of the vehicle. We're looking up at the transmission pan here. You can see the plastic transmission pan here. And right here is the fill plug. This is where you're going to fill the plug, the fluid. So we're going to take this fill plug out. It's an 8 millimeter Allen. So we're going to put an 8 millimeter Allen socket in there, crack that loose. And then once we got that out, a little bit is going to drain out into your pan. Then we'll take the 10 millimeter bolt fill plug or drain plug right here. We'll take that out and let it drain into our bucket and catch that. Once it's all drained out, then we'll go around the perimeter and remove the T40 Torx bolts that are going around the perimeter of the pan. It's a little bit precarious to get to under here, but not too bad. You should be able to get these out no problem. So the first thing we're going to need to do is take that fill plug out. So we're going to get that going. So I got that loose, 8 millimeter Allen, like I said. Got that loose, and now we're going to take this out. A little bit of fluid is going to come out. You might lift this up to it to help catch it. Shouldn't be too much though, but some is definitely going to dry them out. As you can see, a little bit of the fluid is coming out. Once that's fully drained, then we'll switch to a 10 millimeter and we'll take the drain plug loose on the pan. Now, a decent amount is going to come out of this, so you might want to lift it up or have a bigger bucket than what I got. You're definitely going to want to have some rags handy. This is a little bit of a messy job. Now that it's drained, I'm just going to go ahead and put the cap back on just for a little bit so it doesn't leak on me. And then we're going to go around the perimeter of the pan and we're going to remove the T40 bolts. I'm excited because I'm using my new Milwaukee ratchet for the first time. I'm getting oil on it and putting it to work. This is pretty cool. So these are brand new, just hit the market. They have 70 foot-pounds of breakaway torque at 400 RPMs, and we're going to start ripping and tearing. So you're just going to go around the perimeter and remove the bolts. These two here, one here and the one on this side, I recommend you leave them in there loose until you get all the other bolts completely removed, and then that'll hover the pan, and then that's going to allow us to angle the pan, because if you see, it goes up under here and it goes up under there, so we have to kind of angle the pan to get it to drop down. And then we also have to, there may be some fluid that's still in the pan, so we also have to catch the fluid in our little bucket at the same time. So it's kind of a thing here. So, and our new pan comes with all the new fasteners. I had to flex the cooler lines just a little bit to get to these bolts over here, the transmission cooler lines, but and then this one here underneath the lip here, I'll probably have to just get a regular ratchet and just crack it free, and I'll have to take the bolts out by hand with my fingers, loosen them up, take them out by hand, just the ones on the front edge here, and possibly the ones on the back edge here too. All right, I got a tip for you. So the bolts that are kind of underneath the cross member here, you may or may not be able to get access to it. So I'm just using the socket, and I got a 1/4-inch wrench so I can get this on here. And then trying to not to block you, but so basically I put the extension, the socket in there, and now with the 1/4-inch wrench, I'm able to turn it and able to get that out. So I'll do that for the bolts under here, and then also on the front of the cover, the same technique. It's a little slow going. If you have a ratcheting wrench, it makes it a lot faster, but you can get to those bolts. You don't want to go at an angle and try to round these bolts out. Then you're going to be fighting it for sure. All right, so you can see how compact the head of this is. I've got this in here, slipped underneath there, really tight spot, and able to get that bolt free. Pretty cool. All right, so I got all the bolts out except for one. Take that last bolt out. Now we're just gonna angle the pan. All right, now that we got our pan off, you want to inspect the magnets. There's a magnet here and a magnet here. You want to check for chunks of metal or anything like that. A little bit of gray goop like this is normal. What you don't want to see is chunks of metal in it. If you have chunks of metal, then you may have bigger problems with your transmission. This one's in really good shape. So now we're going to go ahead and prep our new transmission pan here. Make sure you take the caps off. You can lubricate the seal here with a little bit of the fresh transmission fluid and get that on there. Leave this dry. The gasket's already built onto the pan. So now we're going to go clean up the mating surfaces on the transmission. So I'm just going to use a clean rag and wipe down the mating surfaces here and dry everything off all the way around the perimeter and just kind of dry everything off. If you need to, you can use some brake clean like this. Spray the brake clean on the edge, leading edge right here, and help clean everything up. All right, so now we're going to slip our pan back in. We want to make sure that this portion of it goes in the hole here. So we're going to slide this in here, line everything up, and kind of give it a press. You can kind of feel it and give it a little press, a little tap. Now we can start our bolts. So I put the pan up here. I started, the best way to do this is put the bolts on the tool like this and then start it by hand like this. So I got a bunch of the bolts started all the way around the perimeter. We're going to run them in until they're snug. All right, one of the cool features about the Milwaukee tools is the variable speed trigger. So you can use it and run it in really slow. Just so everything is touching like that. It's a pretty cool feature. So we'll start all the bolts all the way around the perimeter and then we'll torque them down. All right, so you want to set your torque wrench up to 89 inch-pounds in order to torque these fasteners. We're going to torque them in a crisscross pattern or a kind of a star pattern. So you'll start like right here, click it, come over here, click it, here, here, and then you can go from end to end like that and do it till all the fasteners are tight. Now, the ones under here are very hard to get to and difficult. If you have a very small torque wrench, you can get to some of them. If you can't get to them, what I do is I kind of get a feel of, you know, how it feels, and then I try to duplicate that with my ratchet, you know, and torque them down as close as I can to that. But if you're lucky enough, if you have a small enough torque wrench, you can get these under here and you can torque these down. I also have a stubby socket too that helps to get in here and torque these down. So you'll do that. You'll torque all of them around the perimeter. Then after that, we're going to start filling the transmission up. All right, so now we want to take our transmission fluid in our pump and set it up. And we want to fill the hole here and put it in the fill hole. And we want to pump the fluid in there until that fluid drains out. So it's going to hold roughly 2.5 quarts before it starts pouring out. So go ahead and pump that in there, and that's going to start filling this transmission. You also want to have your bucket underneath because this is a messy process here. And if you pump it too fast, as you saw right there, I pumped it a little fast and some came out. So you got to take your time and fill this transmission up. I've pumped roughly a little over 3 quarts in this hot rod here. Let's see here. And it's just now starting to leak out. So what I'm going to do now is put the fill plug back in, and we're going to go in the vehicle and we're going to start this hot rod up. And then we're going to come back underneath. We're going to take the fill plug back off, and then we're going to pump in another quart or so of fluid. Then we're going to run it through the gears and check the temperature on the transmission. And then we'll come back down here and we'll check the fluid level at the end. So we're going to go in the car, out of the car, in the car, out of the car a couple times and take this plug off. So I'm just putting it in. I'm not really tightening it up. I'm just putting it in. We're going to go in the vehicle and start it up now. The vehicle's running. We can go ahead and take this back off. Now we can go ahead and pump in more fluid until it starts running out. I'm going to be quick about this. You don't want to run anything dry. All right, so now we're inside the vehicle and we got it started, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the transmission temperature. So the way you can do that is you scroll through here on your heads-up display until you see the car, and then you can scroll to the right until you see the transmission temperature. So we got oil life, we got battery, tire pressure, trans temp. So right now you can see our transmission temp is at 89 degrees. So we want our transmission temp between 86 and 122 in those ranges right there. So mine's at 91 degrees. I've gone back under the vehicle, taken the plug out, and then filled it until it's dribbling out, put the plug back in. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the vehicle through the gears. We're gonna turn the traction control off first because we got the vehicle off the ground. So turn the traction control off. Now we're gonna put it in reverse, and we're gonna let it sit here and hold for 5 seconds. So we'll wait 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, we'll shift it through neutral. I wasn't counting, but it was roughly 5 seconds. And then 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000. Now we're gonna put it in drive. We're gonna leave it here for 5 seconds. So after it's sat for 5 seconds, now we're gonna slowly release the brake pedal and let the car roll. And we're going to try to get it in the shift a couple gears here. So I heard it shift a gear right there. So I'm just going to hold it here for roughly 15-20 seconds. Then we'll ease off the gas, slow the car down by applying the brake. Now we're going to go back through the gears, holding it for 5 seconds in each one of these, all the way back to park. Now our transmission temperature is still not exceeded any 122 degrees, but we're at 93 and climbing. We're going to hold the RPMs up. We're going to get it a little hotter. So now it just rose up to a 105 or to a 95. We're going to see if we can get it over 100 degrees before we go back underneath the vehicle. We'll take the fill plug out, and then we're going to top it off until it overflows again. Once we've done that, then we can tighten that down and we're done. So if your car doesn't have the ability to check the transmission fluid temperature on the heads-up display here, then you're going to need a scan tool. I will link the scan tool up just in case you need one for your vehicle. But this vehicle has a heads-up display. So now we're at 107 degrees, 109 degrees. We're going to go back underneath and double-check the fluid level one more time. Okay, after letting it run through all the gears and spin up and everything, as you can see here, it's draining out a little bit. So we're going to let a little bit of this drain out. And then after it drains out till it slows down, then I'll put the plug in and we'll tighten that down, and then we'll clean everything up. Guys, we just got back from a test drive. Everything went smooth. So I wanted to let you know that links for the parts, tools, and everything I use will be down in the description of the video. I'd like to thank you guys for watching and encourage you to subscribe to the channel.